Hello there, my name is Ross Tuscany. I'm trying out for the spring commencement speech. Just a little bit about myself. I'm student teaching right now at Salem High School. I'm in the social studies program, double majoring in history and social studies. Here is my speech. I've titled it, Teaching More Challenging Than You Think. When it comes down to teaching, everyone has some idea of how teachers do their work in the classroom. It is one of the most public professions out there, and everyone has their own experiences and interactions with teachers in school. Nearly every person here spends their time inside the classroom up until we're about 18 years old. Since everyone can spend so much time inside school, everyone gets the idea of what kind of job an elementary school teacher will have, or how a math teacher will run his class in high school, or what a middle school history teacher will do inside his classroom. Now, despite how much experience people have inside school, I think it's only the people who have spent time up in front of a classroom who can really appreciate what it takes to run an effective classroom. Teaching is a very challenging profession. It could be one of the most challenging professions out there. Now, some people may say teaching can't be that hard. We've had politicians this year who say teachers don't deserve their pay because they get 3 months off of the year, you have a textbook in front of you with all the answers, you give out the homework, you collect it, and you grade it. Now, if only it were that easy. Let me just say that your average teacher does more than that. But here at Michigan, we strive to go above and beyond. We learn that there is a better way to approach teaching rather than the typical stereotype of the boring school teacher. Bueller? Bueller? Anyone? Anyone? We all know the stereotype. Throughout our own teacher education, we strive to go above and beyond the call of duty, which is no easy task. It can be one of the most difficult professions a person can take on. But you may ask, how could it be so difficult? I've seen teachers teach before, and it doesn't seem that hard to me. If you want to get an idea of how hard a teacher's job is, let me give you a little comparison. Now, 2 years ago, my older brother graduated from here at U of M, and luckily got a job in Little Rock doing computer engineering. I'm actually wearing the same cap and gown as he did 2 years ago. So, this July, he'll be on the job for 2 years. He does some of the programming for government contractors, and he programs the satellites that float around the Earth. That's about all he can really tell me, or if he told me any more, he'd have to kill me. So, last fall, my brother told me he was in charge of writing this computer program from scratch, and it had to go onto this $4,000 computer chip that would actually be going up into the satellites in space. So he writes the program, and when he only had one shot to put this program onto this really expensive chip and see if his program would work. If it didn't work, there goes $4,000 of taxpayers' money. Luckily, his computer program worked perfectly fine. But writing a computer program from scratch? That sounds pretty difficult. And only getting one chance to put a program on this really expensive computer chip? That's a lot of pressure to deal with. Now, I'm going to argue that teaching is like putting a new program onto a computer chip, except it's much harder. Instead of a program, we have lesson plans. My brother had to engineer that computer program from scratch. Teachers have to do the same things with lessons. The first year or two of our teaching is going to be very difficult at times because every day we have to write our lesson plans and get our materials required to teach. We're basically writing new programs each day for those first few years. We could write 2 or 3 programs a day. If you multiply that by 5 days to a week and then 40 weeks to a school year, my math is correct, that comes to about 600 programs to write for an entire school year. That's a lot. But in some cases, we do have some things to fall back on. Now, we're encouraged to beg, borrow, and steal from other teachers when it comes to planning lessons. Yet, even if we do have some experience with some lesson plans, teachers are constantly trying to improve the ways that they can get their students to learn. The teacher with 1 year experience and the teacher with 30 years experience are always asking themselves, how can I make this lesson better? Or what could I have done better to help out this student? We're always trying to improve ourselves, our programs. The day any good teacher stops trying to improve their teaching is the day they should retire or stop teaching. The teachers that go above the call of duty always strive to reinvent themselves. Now, let's go back to my little analogy with my brother. The computer chips in the analogy are somewhat similar to the students that teachers work with. My brother just had to transfer his program onto a tiny microchip, and hooray, the little thing worked. The microchips that teachers have to work with, they're just a little bit more complicated. You see, the microchip that I might work with might talk back to me. It might talk back with attitude. Sometimes they will want to accept the program that I put onto it, and other times they will want nothing to do with it. They might come in with their own ideas, likes and dislikes. There will be other times when the microchips will just want to interact with other microchips, especially when they have hormones. Believe me, when I was student teaching, I had microchips constantly flirting with one another. That's freshman for you. Other times, our microchips might not come from the best factory or home. It's possible that the education these microchips receive isn't a priority because maybe they have to worry about gang violence on the way to school, or they have to work just to support their family. Nonetheless, our job as teachers is to make learning happen inside our microchips, our students. We have to provide the tools to students to make them successful regardless of the pressures and challenges that they will face in life. Now, when my brother was programming this microchip, he was just working with one microchip. It's harder for teachers because they don't just work with one microchip, but roughly 30 of them, all at the same time. We have to provide an equal and quality education to 30 individuals simultaneously. That's a big responsibility to take on. And some teachers could see 30, 60, 90, or even 150 students in a single day. Now, I don't see my brother engineering 30 satellite programs or a surgeon doing 30 open heart surgeries all at the same time. Teacher has to constantly think how to effectively get a full class of individuals to care about math, science, history, or reading and writing all at the same time. We have to be at our best intellectually, emotionally, and socially while interacting with up to 150 students every day. Now, this is just a brief overview of what it takes to be that responsible teacher that goes above and beyond. To my fellow graduating teachers, I'm extremely confident that every one of us here can take on this great responsibility. Now, it's going to be difficult at times for us, but take note that despite all the challenges that this career can pose, the rewards this job offers are unlike any other. Hopefully, you already know what I'm talking about. We get to shape the generations to come through education. Over the course of our careers, we will get to impact hundreds of lives by building our students' futures. As this nation's leaders and best, we have that opportunity to act on that and to inspire the leaders and best of tomorrow. And that makes teaching worth all the while. Class of 2011, this is what we're getting into. And it's going to be awesome. God bless and go blue. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to work on this. I look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.